Fred Vasseur has dropped a bombshell by confirming that Ferrari has absolutely no intention of easing off and will continue pushing an aggressive development program for the SF26. While Toto Wolff has reportedly been questioning behind the scenes how the Maranello outfit can afford such a relentless stream of new components without breaching the Formula One cost cap, Vasseur appears completely unfazed by the growing scrutiny. His message could not be clearer. Ferrari intends to bring fresh upgrades to every remaining Grand Prix of the season, refusing to slow its momentum at the very moment the championship battle is reaching its most critical stage. Ferrari's decision to introduce new parts at virtually every race weekend has sent shockwaves through the paddock. While McLaren prefers to concentrate its resources into larger upgrade packages introduced only at selected events, Ferrari has invested enormous sums to secure victories at Barcelona and Silverstone. Yet this relentless pace of development could come with a dangerous price. By maintaining constant production of aerodynamic and mechanical components, the Scuderia is operating under extraordinary financial pressure. Should the FIA uncover any irregularities during its cost cap assessments, even the smallest discrepancy could trigger serious consequences and place Ferrari under intense investigation. Is Ferrari confidently playing its cards, or is it edging dangerously close to a costly mistake? Despite the recent success, a closer technical assessment highlights the more complicated side of Ferrari's ambitious approach. The Italian V6 power unit still appears to trail Mercedes in electrical efficiency, particularly over longer race distances. Meanwhile, the aggressive aerodynamic philosophy surrounding the SF26 sidepod inlets, designed to maximize airflow towards the floor, has created fresh cooling challenges whenever temperatures climb. According to Vasseur, progress from the engine department has not arrived as quickly as expected, leaving both Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton to manage noticeable performance losses on the longest straights. This ongoing compromise continues to raise concerns about whether the power unit remains Ferrari's biggest weakness as the championship fight intensifies. Execution has also become a growing concern. Costly operational mistakes during the Hungarian Grand Prix resulted in crucial positions slipping away and sparked tense radio exchanges involving both Hamilton and Leclerc. Vasseur has since attempted to shield the team from mounting criticism, but introducing continuous upgrades demands flawless manufacturing standards, rapid validation, and perfect quality control at the factory. However, the room for error has effectively disappeared. Every update, every strategic decision, and every reliability concern could shape the outcome of the title fight. The biggest question hanging over the paddock is impossible to ignore. Will this relentless development gamble carry Ferrari all the way to championship glory, or will it ultimately spiral into a technical and financial collapse? Mercedes technical director Simone Resta has dropped a major bombshell by publicly claiming that McLaren's latest developments on the MCL40 have exposed an alarming performance gulf between Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri. While McLaren continues celebrating its victory at the Hungarian Grand Prix, the Brackley-based team has drawn attention to what it believes is a growing internal weakness at Woking. According to Resta, the package of 37 upgrades introduced throughout the season has not only transformed the pace of the car, but has also dramatically altered its handling characteristics, leaving Piastri struggling to unlock the same level of performance as his teammate. What was once considered a minor difference now appears to be developing into a potentially dangerous technical divide within the team. McLaren introduced a heavily revised rear wing and a significantly redesigned floor to maximize performance on circuits demanding high aerodynamic load. However, detailed telemetry analysis suggests these changes shifted the car's center of pressure during the braking and corner entry phases, naturally complementing Norris's aggressive driving style. Piastri, by contrast, has reportedly lost the ideal grip window, making the rear of the car far less predictable and forcing him to battle sudden oversteer on corner exits. Mercedes believes this is no longer a circuit-specific issue, but a structural characteristic of the current package. The growing question around the paddock is becoming increasingly difficult to ignore. Has McLaren unintentionally developed the MCL40 around Lando Norris's driving style? With 37 upgrades introduced since pre-season testing, McLaren has matched Red Bull's relentless development pace, but such rapid progress may also be exposing hidden weaknesses. Fine-tuning the MCL40 now demands exceptionally precise tire temperature management under the current regulations. Norris successfully kept the tires operating within their ideal performance window in the intense heat of Budapest, extracting consistent pace throughout the weekend. Piastri, meanwhile, endured inconsistent performance before also suffering an MGU-K failure that further complicated his race. Resta pointedly contrasted the situation with Mercedes, highlighting that both George Russell and Kimi Antonelli are able to extract competitive pace without the engineers having to compromise one side of the garage to benefit the other. Mercedes' comments are far from accidental. Many inside the paddock view them as a calculated psychological attack aimed directly at team principal Andrea Stella and McLaren's championship campaign. Behind the scenes, both Ferrari and Mercedes are understood to be analyzing telemetry data while continuing to raise questions with the FIA regarding the legality of the McLaren floor's behavior at high speed. Rival teams suspect that part of Norris's performance advantage may originate from an area of the regulations that remains open to interpretation. Pedro de la Rosa has sent shockwaves through the paddock after revealing that Aston Martin is riding a wave of growing optimism following the discovery of a theoretical gain of up to 1.8 seconds per lap with the AMR26, thanks to a package of 16 upgrades masterminded by Adrian Newey. Despite the team enduring a deeply disappointing campaign, with Fernando Alonso scoring just a single championship point throughout the 2026 season, the latest data gathered at the Hungarian Grand Prix has finally shown a strong correlation between the car's behavior on circuit and the team's wind tunnel simulations. However, beneath this renewed confidence lies a potentially devastating mechanical reliability concern that could completely undermine Aston Martin's ambitions for the remainder of the championship. Telemetry analysis suggests that the radical redesign of the floor and rear wing end plates has dramatically redirected airflow through the Venturi tunnels, allowing the underfloor to generate significantly greater aerodynamic load. The result has been a remarkable increase in downforce, enabling the AMR26 to outperform both Haas and Williams on outright pace during key phases of the weekend. Yet the gains have come at an immediate cost. Fernando Alonso openly reported severe vibrations through the steering column during the opening laps, raising serious concerns among the engineering team. This unexpected harmonic behavior points towards excessive torsional loads within the car's carbon fiber structure when subjected to extreme aerodynamic forces. If left unresolved, the issue could place enormous stress on the suspension components and create an increasing risk of mechanical failures over the coming rounds. Has Adrian Newey pushed the design philosophy beyond the limits of what the car can realistically withstand? For Newey's ambitious package to deliver its full potential at the Spanish Grand Prix in Madrid, Honda must introduce its latest Turbo 5.6 power unit specification immediately after the summer break. Yet another significant challenge remains. The aggressively narrowed rear bodywork of the AMR26 severely restricts airflow around the power unit, particularly in the area responsible for cooling the MGU-K system. Robert Doornbos has sparked a major stir in the Formula One paddock after claiming that Max Verstappen is preparing to use the Dutch Grand Prix as the stage to confirm that he will honor his Red Bull contract until the end of 2028. Despite once again being spotted in Sardinia alongside Toto Wolff, the reality behind the scenes appears very different from the endless speculation. According to Doornbos, the four-time world champion has watched his realistic exit options gradually disappear. Mercedes has reportedly ruled out any move that could ignite an internal battle between Verstappen and its rising sensation, Kimi Antonelli, while Red Bull continues to wrestle with the enormous technical uncertainty surrounding its RBPT Ford power unit project. Verstappen's renewed contact with Toto Wolff during their time in Sardinia has fueled countless rumors, but many inside the paddock believe it was little more than political theatre. With 19-year-old Kimi Antonelli leading the World Championship, Mercedes has little appetite for creating unnecessary tension by placing two undisputed number one drivers inside the same garage. Doornbos was emphatic in his assessment, arguing that from a sporting perspective, such a pairing would almost certainly create conflict rather than strengthen the team. Brackley appears determined to preserve stability, leaving Verstappen increasingly tied to a Red Bull package that has suffered a dramatic decline in competitiveness. The question now being asked across the paddock is whether Mercedes has made the right decision by refusing to pursue one of the most successful drivers of the modern era. Technical analysis only deepens the concerns surrounding Red Bull's current situation. Telemetry data reportedly highlights persistent instability in the interaction between the turbo V6 internal combustion engine and the delivery of the 350 kilowatt hybrid system, producing unpredictable bursts of torque that repeatedly overwhelm the rear tires. Helmut Marko's decision to describe the team's overall performance as merely satisfactory reflects just how serious the underlying problems have become. Choosing the Dutch Grand Prix to make such an announcement would also represent a carefully calculated strategic move. Red Bull desperately needs certainty over Verstappen's future to calm growing unrest within Milton Keynes, reassure key engineers, and maintain focus on the ambitious 2027 project. However, remaining with a team that is struggling to recover its former dominance could place the Dutch driver under enormous pressure for several more seasons, particularly if the technical direction fails to deliver the expected turnaround. Staying with Red Bull until the end of 2028 may now seem increasingly inevitable, but the engineering and competitive price attached to that decision could be immense.